What up, guys? Your boy Sim the Saiyan. Today is episode 1 of Sim Says, and today we're going to kick things off with my man Todoroki's mama, Rei Todoroki, and how she could probably be one of the most strongest characters in My Hero Academia. Let's get started. So before we go any further, please be advised, if you have not watched My Hero Academia or you're really behind in episodes, please, this is going to have some spoilers. If you are all the way caught up in the manga, you're good to go. If you have not read the manga, this will not spoil anything major for you, I promise. So, recently in the last arc of the manga, Todoroki had invited Bakudo and Deku over for dinner. At this dinner, Todoroki actually began to open up to his friends. He actually began to tell them how he got that legendary scar of his, of that, boiling water on his face. He then says that it dawned on him, it wasn't until he actually got older that he realized it was never the boiling water that burnt him. Because, well, how can boiling water burnt the side of the face of a kid that can literally produce fire on his face? It should not be possible. Todoroki didn't realize that at that point it was not the boiling water that burnt him, but it was his mother's own ice powers. That she dropped to such a temperature that it left a permanent frostbite scar on his face. This gave me my theory on why Rei is actually extremely overpowered. The next half is going to involve some science, so bear with me. So understand, frostbite, frostburn all have to be met under certain conditions. Frostburn can actually happen when you leave a cold pack on your body for too long, your ankle and things of that nature can leave a slight scar. It is not a permanent scar, but it is some scarring on there from this being sheer cold left on the human body. Frostbite can happen if you're left outside within the elements and certain temperatures are met. Normally it has to be at least 30 degrees or lower in order to receive frostbite. Worst case scenario would be if you were left out in 55 degrees below zero with a wind chill of 35 miles per hour, you can develop frostbite within only 5 minutes. But Rei did this to Todoroki in a second, in an instant, I must point out. That would mean that she was able to drop the temperature not only lower than 55 degrees below zero, maybe even at 100. With that being said, if Rei was to actually use her powers in a full extent, or somehow was to get her powers, for God's sakes, they could kill hundreds, maybe even millions, depending on the radius she can go out. Even a small city block, people would die almost instantly from the cold. The other evidence that points to Rei being overpowered actually comes from Endeavor himself. As we all remember, Endeavor arranged the marriage between him and Rei. He did everything in his money, his power that he could to make sure this woman married and mated with him just to produce overpowered children to be heroes that were going to be better than All Might. Endeavor's not impressed by much. Nothing really shocks this man. And for him to believe that all the other women on the planet that could have potential quirks, this woman had the power that he felt was either equal or greater than his, and Endeavor is no slouch. He's number one. He's the number one hero for a reason. He was second behind All Might for all years for a reason. So for him to feel that this woman's powers, Rei's powers, were the equivalent of his or better, means she is something dangerous. Last reason I think that Rei might actually be overpowered, it actually comes from the My Hero Academia creator, the creator of the series. He's a big fan of many American cartoon shows. He really likes Marvel, and he takes a lot of inspiration for his own characters from the X-Men. So it's safe to say that it could be possible that Rei might have been inspired by both Storm and Iceman. And as we both know, Storm and Iceman are overpowered, but they're overpowered Omega level mutants. Both of them have the potential to destroy the planet. Now, I'm not going to say that Rei has the capability of destroying the planet, but I would say that her ice powers is probably at least maybe one. I'll go out there and say this. She probably has at least some of the top 5 overpowered skills in the series. We might never see this typical to anime, but that's just a theory of mine. If it comes true, hey, you heard it from first. This is all I got for y'all there on Sim Says. Stay tuned for more of my theories and other crazy antics. Sims is out. Have a good day.